Hey y'all, Flame Breather 616 here. Today, the day that I'm recording this is September 13th, which happens to be a Friday, which hasn't been known to be the best of days. But the good thing is that the nearest Camp Woods Lake is over an hour and 30 minutes away, so I think I should be fine. Today I wanted to bring you guys a different type of content than I usually post. And it is my predictions for who will win in the NFL season week 2. Just for clarification, this is week 2 of the 2024-2025 season. As most of you very much don't know, is that I am a diehard Cowboys fan, to the dismay of my immediate family. I'm not going to tell you which team they root for, because that could probably dox me, and I don't really want that to happen. So, let's just say the team that my parents and most of my immediate family are fans of aren't that much on good terms with the Cowboys. Let's just put it at that. So, here are my week 2 predictions. Starting off, Cowboys at Saints, Cowboys. What, you think I'm not going to pick the Cowboys on this? Next, Bucks at Lions. Well, I do have Baker Mayfield as my... Correction, I have him as a backup quarterback, not my first quarterback, on my fantasy team. I think I will go with the spread and go with the Lions on this. I think it will be a very close game. Next, Packers at Colts. If this was maybe last season, I could go with the Packers, but things aren't looking too good for the Packers right now, especially with Malik Willis at quarterback. Hopefully Jordan Love gets better at some point, but if he doesn't, to be honest, I'm not going to be that sad, because the Packers screwed us over in the playoffs, so they can go die in the fire. Colts win. Next, the Jets at Titans. This is a very interesting matchup, in which I'm going to go with the Jets. And no, it's not because the Titans have stole Pollard from us, but I think they have a better chance of winning. Next up, 49ers at Vikings. This is a very interesting matchup, since 49ers, as it came out recently, will not have Christian McCaffrey for this game again. And the Vikings have had a rough preseason. JJ McCarthy, just JJ McCarthy. That's all I have to say. But Sam Darnold, what in the world is why nobody could have predicted him to go this good, but at the same time, that week 1 matchup in which he played pretty damn good was against the Giants. And that's why I'm picking the 49ers. Next, the Seahawks at the Patriots. This is a very interesting matchup, in which Seahawks last week seemed to, for some reason, I think they need to uninstall that gravitational force they put on their own end zone, because 2 safeties against them. I've rarely seen 1 safety, but 2. But they were able to pick up the steam at the end, and not to mention that Geno Smith rushing touchdown. They're looking decently good. And then you've got the New England Patriots, who, wow, They shocked everyone. I think that's the only word that I can say. They stumped everyone. Because they were able to beat out the hyped up Bengals, who seemed to just not care or something. I mean, Joe Burrow looked awful. So maybe the Patriots win could just be showing up to the Bengals doing Bengal things. But I will go with the spread and pick the Seahawks. Next. Oh, God. You've got the New York Giants versus the Washington Commanders. How did anybody let this happen? How did these two get well, I guess they are in division, but why did they get matched up so early? I mean, this is not, like, how is this on Sunday? How is this not a Thursday game? The Giants got their butts handed to them by the Vikings in a 28-6, if I am remembering correctly, loss to the Vikings. The Commanders have found a quarterback that might be more of a running back than Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson combined. 3 rushing touchdowns, one of which his helmet came off of. So hopefully he doesn't pull an RG3. But I am going to go with the Commanders here. Next up, you've got the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Carolina Panthers. The Chargers were able to get a win against the Raiders. Looking pretty decent. That's all I really have to say. I can't really remember anything from the Raiders game. But the Panthers. Oh, the Panthers. As the Panthers like to do usually, the Panthers did Panthers things and had a 47-point bomb dropped on them by Derek Carr and the Saints. I don't think I need to explain this, and I don't think I'll upset anybody by going with the Chargers here. Wow, a lot of 1 p.m. games. Next, you've got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Cleveland Browns. The Browns. They got humiliated by my Cowboys. And let's just say Micah Parsons went off against them. They're not looking too good. Deshaun doesn't look good. Their defense doesn't look good. They lost. It ain't looking too good for the Browns. Honestly, I would have kept Flacco. But also, you have the Jaguars, who looked like they were doing pretty good against the Dolphins. They ended up losing, but they looked pretty good, and that's why I'm going to go with the Jaguars. Next, you have the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Baltimore Ravens. The Raiders. Honestly, same with the Chargers. I didn't watch that game, so I have no idea what happened in it, but they lost to the Chargers. But, oh, the Ravens. They need to learn how to line up correctly, which I feel like if you're going to be an NFL lineman, the first thing you learn is how to line up. But first 3 plays of the game, illegal formation, illegal formation, illegal formation. But that isn't the worst part. It's a very competitive game against the Chiefs, which then ended in heartbreaking fashion for the Ravens, in which I love to use this joke on my friends who are Ravens fans. The Ravens had made a definition, and let's just say they put a new meaning to the phrase, towing the line. Yeah, he needs to get smaller cleats. Maybe that toe could fit in. But I still think the Ravens are going to absolutely smoke the hell out of the Raiders. Next, you've got the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Arizona Cardinals. The Rams, not looking too bad. And then Puka got hurt. And they lost to the Lions in overtime. Maybe Matt Stafford could beat Jared Goff one day. But on the other side, you have the Arizona Cardinals, who came out of nowhere to become quite competitive in their game against the Bills, leading the Bills for quite a while, and eventually ended up losing to them. But it was a quite competitive game. And you might call me crazy for this, but I'm going with the Cardinals on this. I'm kidding, I'm going with the Rams. But I'm expecting it to be a very competitive matchup. Next, you've got the Pittsburgh Steelers, the kings of the AFC North right now, taking on the Denver Broncos. The Steelers. Arthur Smith ended up beating the Falcons. We'll just gloss over the fact that they didn't score a single touchdown, and it was 5 field goals that led them to the win. But they made a surprising move and put Justin Field out there, and we'll have to see how it pays off through the season. Taking on the Denver Broncos, in which, as I mentioned earlier, 2 safeties. My God. Okay, Broncos, I see you. But I think that I'm going to go with the spread on this and go with the Steelers. I think the Broncos might have a chance, but I think the Steelers have a pretty good chance too. And then you have the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Bengals. Oh, Lord have mercy. They were humiliated by the Patriots. Joe Burrow didn't look too good. And actually, that's the only thing I know about that Bengals game. But they lost to the Patriots. Quite embarrassing. Taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Jesus Christ, Chiefs, chill. Like, I know that you guys like to win, but please stop. Just take a break. But yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs, no duh. Then, on Sunday Night Football, you've got the Chicago Bears taking on the Houston Texans. We have a battle of the used-to-suck teams. Or maybe a matchup of a used-to-suck team to a maybe-still-sucks team. The Bears eked out a win against the Titans. Caleb Williams didn't look too good, but their defense carried through, and they won against the Titans. Taking on the Houston Texans. Jeez, Texans. Pretty good game against the Colts, to be honest. But the Texans I can still remember when 2 years ago when the joke was, oh my gosh, imagine being as bad as the Texans. That joke cannot be used anymore. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. And then finally, on Monday Night Football, you've got the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. The Falcons lost to the Steelers, who didn't score a field goal. Who didn't score a single touchdown. Let's move on. And the Philadelphia Eagles. They showed that the Giants hadn't suffered enough. And they were like, "Ooh, wait a minute. Hi, Giants. You want to see? Yes, I see that you gave up Saquon Barkley. Here's him scoring 3 touchdowns." The Giants fans, I am worried about your guys' sanity. And as it pains me so much as a Cowboys fan to do this, I'm going to have to pick the Eagles. And then for the tiebreaker, how many total points? I'm going to say 20. I think it's going to be a 20-0. But those are my picks for this week. Let me know down in the comments what you think of my picks. And as always, or not as always, I'm thinking of starting up a new thing. Make sure to do as I do, not as I say. Because the fire will burn on forever. See you guys in 2 weeks.